goal, shouting magisterial, no need to back down. Just park the bus, stop the attack. With the hand of God, put your header back on track. Football is back, Jack. Mbappe's flying through the air. Ronaldo's here for one last prayer. Will Messi come out to play? Or is it victory for the USA? It's corner kicks when the box is packed. That's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. The time is here, open the gates. The long wait is over, so we'll yell, let's go States. No need to back down. Just strike the ball, start the attack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
All right, we did it, everyone. Give it up for Friday. Everybody, give it up for Friday.
Good job,
Come
Friday.
on now. How about that? We made it through the week. Look at this crew. We got Roy and we got Chris and we have Mike and Tony. And out on the West Coast is our pal Dave Damashek. Hello, Dave. How are you this morning?
No hands. It's soccer season, everybody. I'm doing great. How are you?
How about that? They play the World Cup games out there on the West Coast, too? You're into it?
That's right. I believe, if my sources are correct, there's a soccer game this evening in SoFi Stadium involving these United States.
It's Los Angeles Stadium.
Is that what they're calling it?
Important correction.
Yeah, you can't call any of the stadiums by their unapproved sponsors.
Is that
true?
right?
Yes, that's true.
Huh.
Like MetLife
no
is
idea.
New York, New Jersey Stadium. Hard Rock is Miami Stadium.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
They
No,
cover
I
up
didn't know
everything,
that.
too.
Yeah.
All the sponsors.
All the
around
sponsors
stadium.
have to be covered up. Mercedes-Benz, there's just a big banner that covers the Mercedes-Benz logo, and it just says World Cup. You know how Hard Rock Stadium has the Hard Rock signage in each end zone? They have to
Yes.
put a sign over that.
Why is that exclusively a World Cup thing? Like when the national championship is here, they don't cover up Hard Rock Stadium.
No, because FIFA is its own government. Pablo did a fascinating episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out, and they get into that specific detail. Zaz, it's not just, the window dressing of covering up the signage on the stadiums. Internally, your local governments have to refer to that stadium as Miami Stadium.
So you're telling me on the broadcast, when I'm watching the game, whenever the first game on television is here at Hard Rock Stadium, they're going to call it Miami Stadium?
That's correct. In fact, if you live in an area that has road signs that point to the corporate sponsor that don't just say stadium, but say, Hard Rock Stadium, it'll have to be changed to Miami
like
Stadium.
on the Turnpike, I drive here. I take the Turnpike every morning driving here. I pass Hard Rock Stadium every single morning. You're telling me that on Monday, because I didn't look today, when I look at the signs, it's not going to say Hard Rock Stadium?
It's going to say Miami Stadium.
That's so stupid.
Everybody in internal comms, your local government has to. This was a ridiculous detail because I knew about the stadium itself and the stadium grounds and how FIFA takes over and how they are with sponsorships. I didn't know written into the contract that your local government has to fully assimilate and give itself
That
over
is
to that.
dumb.
And if the announcer slips up and says the
They're
Hard Rock,
executed.
yeah, they just get killed.
Yeah, they
right,
get
no
killed.
trial, no jury.
On the spot. And then
Straight
Chris
to
Whittingham gets
execution.
tagged in.
Oh, all right. So
said-
that's something to root for.
He says, brilliant, I'm here now.
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
on the sidelines. He's signed an agreement that when they execute, because it will happen, when they execute Ian Dark, he just gets
That's
slotted
exciting.
in.
What if he slips?
Then he's dead.
Then we watch the game in silence, and no one will make a mistake. Speaking of mistakes, Chris Cody, what happened with Lewis this morning?
Oh, my God. It was last night. Lewis, our video guy. Shout out to Lewis, by the way, for everything he does around here. Just love Lewis.
All right, let's
But
keep it moving.
last night at 7:45, I get a panic text. Well, I get a missed call, and I'm like, oh my God, why is Lewis calling me right now? And then I see a text of him saying, dude, I'm running late. I missed my alarm. I'm so sorry. And I'm like,
at what time is
at
this?
7:45 p.m. last night. I'm like, oh my God, we have a nighttime recording. Like, I'm late for something. I start freaking out. And then I like write back. I'm like, what meeting? What alarm?
That is, by the way, I think I've told you guys this. I have recurring dreams. I have like 3 or 4 recurring dreams. And that is one of my newer, well, no, it's not even newer, but that is one of my recurring dreams, that I am late to work and just this panic that washes over me. You may continue.
So he realizes that he thought, he woke up at 7:45 last night from a nap, thinking it was 7:45 in the morning and that he was absurdly late for work. He went downstairs. He's mad at his wife for not waking him up. His wife's sitting there feeding their kids dinner. Just an
and what, he thought she was feeding them breakfast.
He thought it was breakfast. He said that it was 7:45 p.m., so it was like that time of day where it looked similar to
it's
early
like dusky.
morning.
Like twilight.
And I was honestly cracking up at my house at the idea of Lewis. He said he brushed his teeth.
That's happened to me once before when I was in high school. I put on my uniform. I started having breakfast, and I was like, why the hell is PTI on?
That happened.
Brushed his teeth.
That happened to me once in high school as well, where I went to sleep, probably like 10:30, 11 p.m., and I woke up thinking it was morning. I gathered my clothes. I went upstairs. I showered. I put my clothes on. I brushed my teeth. I did everything. I went through my entire morning routine, and then I went into the kitchen, like maybe to grab some orange juice or something, and I saw the time on the kitchen microwave, and it said like 12:20 a.m.
Brother,
and I realized what happened. You know what happened here? I realized what happened. At some point during that day, the power must have went out in my house, and my alarm is on. And what happens with those electronic alarms when the power goes out? It resets to midnight, to 12 a.m. So my alarm was now set, instead of 5:30 in the morning, was set at midnight. I was probably asleep for an hour. My alarm went off. I went up, I showered, I brushed my teeth, I'm fully clothed, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Mine was just a really good nap. And I was like halfway through my breakfast of 2 Entenmann's Rich Frosted Chocolate Donuts and a tall glass of milk. And I was like, why are Wilbon and Kornheiser on? Dave, that's never happened to you? By the look of your face, I can tell it hasn't.
No, that's bizarre. I mean, the closest thing I've had to that was once I was sitting in an airport at the gate waiting to get to board the flight, and I was on my laptop and doing it and waiting. When are we going to board? And eventually I got immersed in whatever I was looking at online, and eventually I picked my head up. I'm like, when are we boarding this? And where is everybody else? And then I went up to the gate agent, and they said, that thing boarded like 20 minutes ago, and everybody is on there, and the flight took off already. And I said, how? What the hell? How did I completely miss the entire process of calling? It's now your turn to get on the flight, and the entire 45-minute long process somehow eluded me while I was sitting right there. That's as close as I have to what you guys are talking about. Sounds like all of you have issues with booze or otherwise.
So
I was in high school.
Also,
why is Jesus sitting on your microphone?
Yeah. He's my co-pilot always.
He's
Guys,
explained
I
that to
told
us
you.
before.
I found him. I went to an amusement park with and there he was, just sitting on the bench waiting for me. And so I took him. It was a sign from above or otherwise. So I figured I better bring him home with me.
Or it was just
if
a
he
toy
offends
sitting
you,
on
I'll
a
take him
bench.
down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, could just have been a toy sitting on a bench.
He's gone. Good. Goodbye, Jesus.
So we got a lot to get to. We got the Stanley Cup from last night. Really the first game of this series that wasn't like a banger, We got the NBA Finals, which continue tomorrow. That's right. All the games now, Game 5, 6, 7, extra day in between because they're allowing for extra travel day, which is fine because you get to late in the series. You want to make sure the games are as well played as possible. So no NHL tonight, no NBA tonight, but thank the Lord. We have World Cup tonight, which includes the United States, who are playing this evening. What do I need to know tonight, Mike, as far as
it's in
this
Los
game?
Angeles Stadium.
Yeah. Don't want to make that mistake.
Address that. And it's a big game for the U.S. Now, qualification for the knockout stages is a little different for this
Does the
World
U.S.
Cup.
have a tough group? Paraguay, Australia?
No, it's not a tough group. Because being a host nation, they get put in pot A with the global elites. which means they get to avoid the likes of Spain and England. So it's favorable to those teams that essentially get the highest seed imaginable. But Paraguay is a difficult team. They counterattack. They've got some good players. If you're familiar with MLS, a former Inter Miami player, Diego Gomez, Amaron has been back and forth between the MLS and Europe. They play this counterattacking style, and the U.S. has changed its identity in recent years. They want to take advantage of what was labeled a golden generation, more skilled attacking players, and they want to control and dictate the game. But as we've seen in CONCACAF in particular, you run into these gritty, hard-nosed teams that are very organized and want to make the most of their opportunities. The U.S. has really struggled in breaking those teams down. Now, I think the U.S. ultimately wins this game, but this is a tough opponent that does things that I think the United States struggles against. However, if you're looking for hope in this entire tournament, the last two matches that the U.S. have had in this warm-up for the World Cup, Senegal's a very good team. The United States pretty much bossed that game and got a lot of what they wanted on the attack. In the Germany game, I'm really optimistic after the Germany game because for long stretches of that game, the United States controlled that game, and that is a top-tier opponent. So I do think this is going to be a little cagey, especially early on, and I think we're going to be a little nervy. But even if the United States, even if they lose, the tournament format allows for a third-place finisher in the group to advance even to the knockout stages. They're taking 8 teams that finish third. So it's not dead the way that it would be in previous tournaments, but a big one if you want to get an easier draw in the knockout stages, which is why you want the U.S. to win this group.
Mike, I'm having a tough time really getting into this USA team, right? Like the generation prior, the Clint Dempsey generation, Tim Howard, Landon Donovan, all those guys I knew. I feel like I don't know anybody on this team outside of Pulisic.
Yeah, Pulisic is well, they also miss a golden opportunity in missing a World Cup. This is only Pulisic's second World Cup, and he seems to have been a name that we've all been familiar with for damn near a decade. Yeah, there's a bit of a transition here, but Balogun is a good player over in France.
Man, so it's been 8 years since the U.S. since I've watched U.S. in the World Cup?
No. They were in the last World Cup, but this is only Pulisic's second because they missed the one in Russia because they lost to Trinidad and Tobago.
So that was 8 years ago.
Unfair.
That was 8 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, but Pulisic's now, I think, 27 years old. This isn't a story of promise. Christian Pulisic has won the Champions League with Chelsea. For long stretches of times, he was the best player on AC Milan. However, this season was really disappointing. Struggled with injury, which is always the case with him. However, he's gotten going here very recently, finally scored again for that national team. And it seems that Pochettino, our manager, is going to do what favors his skill set, which is get Christian Pulisic in space. We have some really good players on the wing. Tim Weah has been a good player. Weston McKennie on form has probably been the best club player. He was the best player for Juventus. Now, if McKennie is your best player, you have a ceiling, as Juventus found out. For the U.S. to get where we all hope that they go, which is a deep run in the knockout stages, it's going to have to be Pulisic because when he's on, when he's in form, he can prove against global elites that he is fully capable of being the best player on the pitch.
So those are the 3 guys that I'm looking for. Pulisic, I'm looking at Weah, and I'm looking at McKennie.
Yeah, McKennie's going to be good. And Tyler Adams is going to do all the dirty work in that midfield in terms of your defensive mid, in terms of being like a stabilizing
Do we have a good
force.
keeper?
No. That is a big change from I'm not even sure who starts today. It'll be curious. I think Matt Turner is going to get the nod, who you're a little familiar with. He's repped the U.S. before in big-time international competition. Freeze kind of had the inside track, again, based on form and having the strongest season. But Pochettino's a bit of a wild card because the U.S. did not have to go through a qualifying stage. Pochettino took the opportunity to get in like close to 80 players in rotation in this squad to figure out what he wants. And we're here on the day of their first match. And I really can't tell you the formation we're going to play with. I have a good idea, but it seems as though Pochettino is favoring versatility.
I'm a 4-3-3 guy.
That's what you like?
Yeah.
I prepare to be disappointed.
So I want to get to a local story here. Thank you for all the soccer there, Mike. We're going to do actually a lot of World Cup stuff coming up later on in today's show.
But Zaz, you are going to be watching, right?
Oh no, I'm going to watch every game. Like obviously, I will watch every U.S. game for sure, and every other game as long as I'm not out doing something, I will watch every other game. Like this afternoon, I know Canada's playing at 3 p.m. I'm going to watch that game this afternoon, and I'm 100% going to watch the U.S. game. So no, I'm I'm dialed into it. I like it. I love soccer. It's not like I know the players or what have you, but I love soccer.
But like Jim Carrey, oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a little bit like, how Jim Carrey had to dip his toes into the drama waters. He had mastered. I feel a little bit like I'm pretty steeped in every sport except for the most popular one, which is soccer. And I really do. It's a ramp up for me. And so the words of Mike Ryan are useful to me.
I love
because
it.
I really do feel like a complete casual, like Super Bowl. Who are these two teams and how did they get here? Tell me about what I need to know. I'm exactly like Tony. I don't really know. I know the name Pulisic, and that's about the extent of it.
I think he prefers it pronounced Pulisic.
The right way.
But no. He's not pronouncing it the right way.
Tony and Mike just mispronounced. They had two different pronunciations.
Tony's not the guy to
They're
follow.
standing 18
I said
inches
it the
from
right
each
way.
other.
I said it the right way.
I say it. I used to work with Chelsea, and interviewed Christian quite a few times, and I had to nail down how do you prefer to say it, and it seems like I'm the only one that says it the way that he told me. But there is an NFL thread, Dave. Are you aware that there is the son of a pretty damn good NFL player that is projected to start for the U.S. men's national team? Did you know that?
Yes, one of the three most unrepeatable catches in the history of people, Antonio Freeman, the one that went off his
Is that
butt
right?
went off the Viking. Yeah, that's right. You could never go out there. You could go try a million times to repeat the Monday Night Football Antonio Freeman touchdown in overtime that hits off the Vikings defender's butt into his hand. You know the catch I'm talking about, right? That one, the curse catch in the Super Bowl 49 that precedes the interception, the Russell Wilson, Malcolm Butler, that's unrepeatable, and the Julian Edelman catch. Those are the three most. You could go out there and try to do it infinitely, and you would never get the exact same bounces to repeat themselves.
What about the dude from Seattle? Oh my God, what was his name? Curse.
I said Curse.
Yeah, Curse.
Yeah, Curse.
That was
yeah,
incredible.
Right, that one. Yeah, the one up the sideline.
Alex Freeman is Antonio Freeman's son.
I didn't know that.
And I'm a big fan of his. I think he's got
Former
potential.
Dolphin.
I think he's got potential to make it far in Europe. Right now, he plays for a semi-decent sized club in Spain, in Villarreal. He can get frisky in the attack too. 6'2". I like him to show up in the score sheet at some point in this tournament.
We'll get back to a lot of World Cup stuff coming up in the show today, but I do want to talk about something local here, and that is, the NBA Finals could end tomorrow. All right, I think the series still has. I think it's going to go at least 6. Still has a shot to go 7. Probably ends in 6, but I do think San Antonio wins tomorrow. But that means that we could get some Giannis news once the finals end, all right? The NBA draft is on the 23rd, so it certainly seems at some point between the finals ending, maybe tomorrow, and June 23rd, that Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to wind up being traded. Now, it feels like there's a lot of smoke out there right now in regards to Miami, and we have talked about that. But, see, I think you guys know where I stand with this kind of stuff. I don't believe anyone. I don't think anyone knows anything. And that only proves my point's only proven when a few days ago, Boston, not interested in Giannis. They're not in on Giannis. And now, a day or so later, Boston's in. Boston's going hard after Giannis. Well, you couldn't have not been in, and now you're you're out on Giannis, and now you're making calls and you're trying to acquire him. Well, then you were never out on him, all right? So they're apparently, if you believe what people are saying, they're all in on Giannis now. They're trying to get him. I will say, though, I like trying to figure out where the tea leaves are going. And Jaylen Brown, all right, who, Jaylen Brown's Kyrie Irving 2.0. We could all admit that, right? He played with Kyrie for a little bit in Boston. Jaylen Brown's new Kyrie Irving, where it's he's smartest guy in the room. Jaylen Brown walks through him. He's going to say things you're not going to understand because he's too wise, And so Jaylen Brown tweeted out yesterday, amidst all of the Giannis and Boston rumors, the neighbor's rice always smells better. Now,
He's tweeting like a wide receiver.
I don't know what the hell that means.
I think he's going for the grass is always greener.
The neighbor's rice always smells better.
Yeah, Dave, you speak diva wide receiver. What does he mean by this?
I'm lost by it because rice famously has no smell to it. Well, it was smell. Rice, that's a characteristic.
You don't understand it because he's too wise for you. I already told you. When he talks, if you're not on his level, you can't possibly understand the things that he's saying or thinking. He's too wise.
I see. He's like Confucius, in other words.
So it feels like, because if the Celtics are going to trade for Giannis, like they're going to trade Jaylen Brown, are we worried now that and I told you yesterday, I don't think that these trades happen and then all of a sudden that's when everybody finds out. Like, I don't think the player is finding out anymore by seeing the scroll on ESPN television. Oh my God, I got traded. I think these trades happen days before any of us find out. You know, that's why, like a couple days ago, right, Tyler Hero puts out the post, and Tyler Hero's brother responds with a picture, a gif of a buck, you know, and, he must know. The trade's done. The trade happened. Oh, he stopped following the Miami Heat on Instagram. Like, the trade's done. And then you get stuff like this as well. Are we nervous that Boston is going to take our shit?
I'm sick about it. I'm absolutely sick about it.
Yeah, I am nervous about it, too. I've heard from someone that's pretty plugged in that said Miami's starting to reach out to other teams about Tyler Hero to try to get more for Hero because he doesn't necessarily work in the package, and Boston's surging. Now,
meaning that Milwaukee would not want Tyler Hero.
Right, that Miami's making overtures to other teams in regards to Hero to try to get more to make their package a little bit more appealing. Again, not my deal, but the person that I heard from on this matter, I do kind of trust. He's pretty plugged in. The Heat, notoriously quiet on this front, so I don't think it's coming from the Miami Heat side.
Barry had tweeted a bunch of stuff yesterday, Barry Jackson, talking about the possibility of a 3-team trade where Portland would send all of the assets that Milwaukee wants back to Milwaukee.
I saw this where Barry Jackson tweeted
Jaylen
out.
Brown over to Portland.
It was something to the effect of, if you want to think about like the doom and gloom situation, this is what could happen. They could do this and they could do this, and if they do this, that would trump Miami's offer. And I'm reading this and I'm thinking to myself, why are you giving them ideas how to make like a better offer? Like, we all, I know, you know, if you're a reporter, you're supposed to be on bias. We all want Giannis to come here. Why are you giving out all the ways that other teams can do things so that he don't get Giannis?
This isn't inside information, though. I think we can all concede that if Boston is indeed willing to part with Jaylen Brown, and if he is indeed on the table for the Milwaukee Bucks as a legitimate option, we're SOL there.
Well, they wouldn't even get him. They would send Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I don't think Milwaukee
Portland
would want Jaylen Brown.
Even that being so, if Jaylen Brown is a part of this package, we don't have a leg to stand on.
Right.
Wait, Zaz, go back. Why does Milwaukee not want Jaylen Brown?
Well, I'm just assuming there, and my assumption there is, all right, if you're trading Giannis, you're clearly in a rebuild, okay? And if you're going to rebuild, being tacked with a $300 million contract, you can't rebuild like that.
Also, if you get the value for Jaylen Brown, you get what is tantamount to his talent in terms of trades. Like, you get that haul, and Jaylen Brown, you help facilitate it because Jaylen Brown probably doesn't want to be in Milwaukee where that franchise is, so he'd rather go, let's say it's Portland. At least, I know what you're thinking, but Portland was in the playoffs. Portland does have some nice little pieces there. So it would certainly be more appealing to Jaylen Brown to go to Portland than Milwaukee, just from a competitive standpoint, and also from a town standpoint too. That's just an example. But if Jaylen Brown is a part of this for Boston, the Miami Heat are not going to get back into that trade conversation unless Bam is on the table.
The neighbor's rice always smells better is a Cantonese idiom, a way of saying the grass is always green on the other side. Jaylen Brown was in China this past week.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Zaz, it would make sense.
But rice doesn't have a smell to it.
No,
it does.
But
It
Cantonese
does.
rice does. They fry their rice.
What, was it like a fried rice?
Yes.
Like I might get at Benihana. Now that's very good because they put
Well,
that butter in there.
Benihana
I don't know
garlic
what they
butter,
do
yeah,
to
the
that.
garlic
I don't know
butter.
what they put in that
Japanese.
butter.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it's a garlic butter.
love that
Very
butter.
nice.
We also have arroz con
Very
pollo
good.
that has
It's
a
the
beautiful smell to it when you're cooking in a Hispanic home too.
White rice can't smell, but all the ethnic rices, they smell. They're
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
good.
I walk into Benihana, I could smell that fried rice. Come on now.
Smell like it for days.
The ethnic rice. I don't know what you mean by that.
Oh, don't
Mike.
take shots at me. We were talking about Cantonese rice, and you took it all the way over to Japan.
Yeah.
It's all right. I forgot that you mentioned Jermaine Kearse before, so we're even.
Gentrified rice. All right.
So last night was really like the first game of the Stanley Cup final that wasn't a total banger. Like, it wasn't, oh my God, this is cocaine hockey.
And it was still a comeback.
Yeah.
Vegas still scored the first goal, which
Yeah.
appears to be a bad idea in this series.
But it wasn't cocaine hockey. Like, last night was a regular, good hockey game. And Carolina won 4-2, so they now have a chance to win the Stanley Cup tomorrow night.
Sunday.
No, Sunday. They're taking an extra day too. So Sunday they have a chance to win it in Vegas as they've gone up now 3-2. But I want to give you a little bit of Tortorella, okay? John Tortorella, head coach of the Vegas Knights. And you bet. So Carter Hart, his goalie, has now set a record. If I have the stat off the top of my head correct, Carter Hart has set a record for first goalie ever in the Stanley Cup final to go 5 consecutive games, giving up 4 or more goals, which makes sense that would be a record because normally if you're in the Stanley Cup finals, because your goalie is awesome and your goalie has been awesome. So to go 5 straight games, giving up at least 4 goals, yeah, that makes sense. That's a record. So here's John Tortorella. He was asked after the game about the idea of maybe changing goalies for Game 6.
Far right side, Elliot.
John, you watched the end of the basketball game last night?
I did.
Okay, so I
let's
wanted to ask you
this is
about...
a different clip.
They've been watching.
Wow. Let's go to the other.
Wow, Ron Rothstein in the house.
Not different. Stop it. Hold.
Cue up new.
Let's cue up Tortorella, the short one of him being asked about the goalie.
John, did you consider at all going to Aiden Hill in the third period, or was there any conversation
Oh,
or thought
for
about it?
Christ. That could be the stupidest question I've heard.
Why is it so stupid? Brandon Bussey, Carolina, changed their goalie, and they've won 2 games in a row with the new goalie. Why is it such a stupid question, Roy?
I don't know, but the Freddie Anderson thing, that leads to a question. Is he's been healthy scratched in the past 2 games.
Right, and Brind'Amour was like, he needs the time off, he needs the rest. Emily Kaplan did a really good job in the middle of the game. She did a really good job at that first period bench interview and asked about him not even being the backup. And Brind'Amour gave some kind of answer he's better when he just has the time off. All right.
Well, keep in mind his agent was Claude Lemieux. And he had just recently passed. So could very well be protecting Freddie Anderson.
Oh, good job, Roy. Okay.
And the dialogue around Carter Hart is ever present. It's a weird bit of feedback that you guys don't talk about Carter Hart. And I'm like, you want me to shoehorn sexual assault conversation?
Are people upset that we're not all over that?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Carter Hart was, along with others, found not guilty for a sexual assault in London, Ontario. But, there is evidence that suggests something happened there, and he's been extremely controversial. You have the crowd in Carolina chanting "no means no." Now, when it comes to his performance, it's been really solid for Vegas right now, and Tortorella just, bucked up against the notion of pulling him. Aiden Hill is a Stanley Cup winner. We know from our time in the Stanley Cup playing Vegas, Aiden Hill was really terrific there. It's a normal question to be asked, but Tortorella is particularly spicy.
So are we, people are upset that Carter Hart was even allowed back in the league, that Vegas even signed him. So, are we happy that he's getting crushed here? Because, like I said, first goalie ever, 5 straight games in the Stanley Cup Finals, allowed 4+ goals.
People were unhappy that he even got the opportunity.
Right.
So he's been highly controversial.
Yeah, very easy to root against these Golden Knights for many reasons. Carter Hart, the presence just of, if you like merit of the regular season, you want to root against the Golden Knights here. It's weird that they've wound up in the final. It kind of invalidates the regular season of hockey, which is a bad look for a borderline kind of fringy sport. John Tortorella is a jackass to beat all jackasses. That's another reason to root against them. But the other thing is, if you're trying to look at this hockey final in the final days, maybe just 60 minutes less than this season, all the conversation about fungibility of running backs in the NFL applies to NHL goaltenders now. Roy, it's super weird. I mean, that's a big distinction from now versus a decade or so ago. The names used to resonate. The guy between the pipes was everything. Now, a guy is good one season, and then the next season, he's the reason your team isn't making the playoffs. I don't have to tell people in Florida that too much. Bob kind of blew up this season after being the linchpin to those cup runs the last couple of springtimes, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's been a bad week, by the way, for the NHL as far as giving people second and third chances, considering that Mike Babcock might be the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
The NHL, not exactly leaders in that department, still got a ways to go there. But the sport has changed. Typically, if you made it to a Stanley Cup final, it's because your goalie got really, really hot. And that can still happen, but you don't need this incredible goaltender to win a Stanley Cup anymore. These guys kind of come and go now, which is a change for the league. Also, additionally to Carter Hart, why he's even more controversial is within Canada, he wore a Free Alberta shirt, which is the separatist. Well, it's a separatist movement inside conservative pockets in Canada, and so he's a pariah. And
so Alberta wants to leave Canada.
Yeah,
the Texas of Canada.
We're used to the separatist movement being the French Canadian thing. That's
always how my family got here. Was that's literally how, because my family is Canadian, they're from Montreal. That's how my family came here in the late 70s, was because of the French separatist movement.
Yeah, when I was growing up, there was always talk that Quebec was going to secede and form its own independent country. Now Alberta has really shifted that conversation.
Kind of like the Conch Republic with Key West, right? Where they're like, hey, we're going to do our own thing over here.
We're doing our own thing. Wait, you're not picking up our garbage? All right, we're back.
I want to mention something from the game the other night, from Game 4 of the NBA Finals. And I talked a lot about this on Zaslow Show 2.0 yesterday. Everyone's got the same talking points, essentially, after Game 4. We all saw the finish to the game. And I took a little bit of a different tact on Zaslow Show 2.0 yesterday, which was I wanted to talk about the experience as a fan in these kind of moments. And it really is because I'm not supposed to like the New York Knicks. We're not supposed to like the Knicks. I'm not supposed to feel good for the Knicks fan. And I even said, if this was Boston, all this was happening in Boston, I would not feel good for the Celtic fans. I would not, okay? I would be treating it different. But still, it is New York and it's the Knicks, so it is still surprising that I'm even, happy for them in any sense, all right? But I really am. And I've really enjoyed people that I know, friends of mine who are experiencing this joy, and it just reminds me how I felt about the Panthers a few years ago, because it's the same type of misery that you've lived for decades now. And I'm also at a point in my life where that really is what I appreciate about sports. And so my favorite story, though, from a couple of nights ago is Mariska Hargitay, who I think is the star of these NBA Finals now, based on what happened in Game 4, at the end of Game 4, with her being a huge Knicks fan and running on the floor, and she hugs all the players and celebrate the best night of her life, she proclaims it at the end. This is a legitimate, hardcore New York Knicks fan. And I love all the little tidbits I can get about Mariska Hargitay, because my wife and I are big fans, all right? We love Law & Order SVU. And she is my wife's favorite. And so my wife and I, we were in New York City last weekend, right? We went to New York to see Mariska Hargitay. That's why we went. We went for the weekend to go see this play that she just, a one-woman play that she just started doing a few weeks ago called Every Brilliant Thing. And once we saw, because she doesn't do anything outside of Law & Order. Nothing. What other movie you've seen her in?
Law & Order money's good.
She does nothing outside of Law & Order. So this is her Broadway debut, and it's a one-woman show. We went to New York City to see Mariska Hargitay. And so we went and we saw the show on Saturday night. We're sitting on the stage. We're up closer. She said hello to my wife. It was a thrill for her. It was really great, and she was phenomenal. So we love her anyway. And then to see this, a couple days later, and how happy she is.
It is really cool.
So I was wondering, how is she at the game? Because does she when they do the dates for the show, because the show's every night, does she say, okay, no show these nights because maybe the Knicks are going to be in the NBA Finals? How does she not miss the game?
I would imagine months in advance she tells the scheduling people there, I'm going to be going to these playoff games. So when that schedule comes out, I'm out those nights.
I would have thought so also, but that's not true. So here's this anecdote from a couple of nights ago. Mariska Hargitay is such a devoted Knicks fan, she decided to sprint to Madison Square Garden after a 2-show day on Broadway to make it to the 8:30 p.m. tip-off. Quote, I took 4 minutes. We saw the show the other day. It was a little less than 2 hours, the show. I took 4 minutes off the running time of my show and I knew the traffic would be crazy, so I sprinted from the Hudson Theater on 44th and 6th to MSG. But I knew everything was going to be all right because I was wearing my Jalen Brunson Kobe 5 Protos that Jalen gave me a few months ago. I'm not going to lie, the 10-block sprint after a 2-show day was no joke. End quote. I mean, how cute is she?
Fan of the year.
How
you know
cute
what?
is she?
You know what? Worth a toast.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yep.
Worth a toast, presented by Cuervo. Keep it fun. Keep it Cuervo. Just shout out to you. Great fan.
And those 10 blocks, those are New York blocks. Those are big blocks.
I love her so much. And I love that story because she is a legit hardcore Knicks fan. And I love seeing people like her, just huge fans, who are experiencing this kind of joy for the very first time. And so just wanted to make sure that
I thought it was great too, Zaz, and I was so glad she could enjoy it with her best pal Taylor Swift.
Well, look, she doesn't come up with the seating chart. All right, so MSG put Taylor Swift next to Mariska Hargitay. They're like, hey, these two will have some fun. We'll put them together.
But she had one of the
no,
shirts.
Swiftie brought her a T-shirt. She got her one of the matching T-shirts
right.
that she and the other ladies were wearing there.
That's right.
Good look.
That's right.
Big Knicks fans.
That's right. I saw, by the way, tickets for tomorrow night in San Antonio. 50% of the tickets being bought have come from the New York, New Jersey area. That building is going to be packed with Knicks fans. They're going to take over the arena.
9,000 people are going to fly down from the New York tri-state. That's the assertion here.
50% of the tickets have been scooped up by New York, New Jersey.
Plenty will fly down, but a lot of people are from New York. I imagine San Antonio has a lot of people with New York roots or people that are just Knicks fans. They're a big brand.
I told you, we went over the prices the other day. San Antonio ticket in San Antonio, hotel, airfare, still half the price of a ticket into Madison Square Garden. So, yeah, I think the building tomorrow night is going to be flooded with blue.
Coming up on Mystery Crate today, we are tiering Steven Spielberg movies. We are all getting assigned a World Cup team to do a book report on.
Do we have to do the book report?
I don't think so.
I thought we were just going to watch the team.
How about we just do like one fun fact?
Okay, well, I like that. One fun fact.
But it better be fun, though. If you're going to play fun fact, you better come with a fun fact. Anyways, we got a lot coming up here today. Rose is doing her thing. Zaz has got an old-ass story. And Tony, we're just mystery creating the shit out of this episode. So you better check it out.
A Miami commissioner is weaponizing government against me. The future of the Port of Miami, which is Florida's fifth biggest economic driver, is in jeopardy thanks to the incompetence of Miami-Dade government. Or is it actually a long con? Plus, another episode in the never-ending series of Florida Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. All new because Miami.
What is the Nick Bobic?
It's a 60s song. The name game. Nick Bobic. Banana Bofic. Me, my Momic. Nick.
Rosanna, 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 I'm
the kind of guy that Nick. Who made it the salad? Hey, Butterfinger. Who made it the salad? Nick Bobic. Who made it the salad? Georgia.
That's not correct.
Very good.
It's a parrot that says very good out of the side of its mouth.
That's correct.
What does this have to do with the name game?
I'm not going to take a quiz.
Rosanna,
Who made it the salad? Me, my Momic. Let's go States. We're rolling now, huh?
That's not correct.
Doesn't make it right. Don't go showering to try to please me.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on? Do you like
Dangling.
breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Little pelvic thrust situation.
I like that.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
He was naked.
Intimate.
Dangling.
I would hold that thing really tight.
How would you do it?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck? Do you like breathing hot neck?
I've been dry humps.
You never know.
I've been dry humps.
Many, many times.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Have you ever consoled a naked man?
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
You never know. I like that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Chris Cody and Roy revealed this to me. And Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cody.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like one, like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out.
Hoo-wah!
Let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
It's no, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
You should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what movie?
nobody said
What
that.
movie?
It's APEC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You ain't you.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Yo, I'm going to see Disclosure Day tonight. That's right. How about that? That's the new Spielberg.
You nervous?
Oh, it's just a movie. What do you mean am I nervous?
Wait, what time does your movie
A
start?
documentary.
What time does the movie start?
Let me look. Excellent question.
Just said you'd be watching every
I
second.
know you're
of
trying
USA.
to. You're trying
Well, he
to.
said he loved the
Gotcha
soccer,
journalism,
and then
yeah.
he asked me before the show what happened last night.
You're trying to make this a gotcha moment. All right.
Yes.
I think it's going to. It's going to
For
misfire.
the record, I have to defend Zaslow here. He didn't claim that he's a soccer enthusiast.
I said I like it a
he's
lot.
gonna watch
He said he
the
loved
He
the
said
soccer.
he'd be watching every second of USA
He
soccer.
said
He
he
said he's
loved
gonna
the
wa-
soccer.
That's true.
All right, if I I was trying to have your back here.
All right,
Zaz. I was
that-
trying
no,
to
thank
say
you.
that
I
you're gonna
appreciate it.
watch
Why don't you have
as
my
a-
back?
as an American?
No, but this-
not necessarily as a diehard.
This gotcha moment's going to backfire. Okay, on these guys because Disclosure Day starts at 6 p.m.
What a loser movie time.
Guess what? It's not a loser movie time when you want to watch USA, and the movie ends at 8:45.
Most people are enjoying their like Friday happy hours. That's going to a movie.
Play
Yeah.
on.
Dork.
Play on.
I'm
Did you
going to
get
Spielberg.
perhaps get lucky? Because I would know for a fact if I was free and clear to watch the U.S. men's national team.
Now, when I bought the tickets a week ago for Disclosure Day, did I also check what time Team USA was playing on Friday night? Maybe not. But nonetheless, it's all worked out timing-wise. I will be home on the couch, that very uncomfortable couch, in the Zaslow Mansion family room, watching Team USA. I will
So
not
you're
miss
gonna
any
watch
of
it
that.
at home? Because I was just
Yeah.
asking the guys, like, hey, what are you guys gonna do? You guys gonna go out? You gonna watch it at home?
too
What do you
old.
think?
I'm too old. No.
Too old.
Yep,
That's
I'm
the
too
best
old.
part
You're a young
about
guy.
the best part for Americans of the World Cup. We have no shot of winning this thing. The best part is going out, being in the ruckus atmosphere
It's
for
the
the game.
first group play game. They're playing at least 3 games. At least. They better play more than 3.
You only get 3.
They better play more than 3. So I'm seeing. Look, if you want me to come out and watch the game, you just ask. Just ask. That's it. All right. So I'm not missing anything. But got to make sure we're all up to speed on everything, which brings us to our World Cup observations.
It is time for to share his
World Cup.
game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
World Cup Observations is brought to you by Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with a light. Zaz and Demashek and Mike and Roy and Tony and Chris.
Nailed it.
Finally here. 4 long years of waiting for the opportunity to see Lamine Yamal at a Walmart. The picture will come up. The American World Cup. Maybe not. Okay.
We'll
no
fix it in
pictures.
post.
Yes, I know Mexico and Canada are also hosting. But 70% of the games are here. And 100% of the mess is ours. The American World Cup. From price gouging fans to preventing Iran from staying in the United States despite all their games being here, to denying entry to a Somali referee. Trust me, Mexico and Canada, you don't want no parts of this shit. The American World Cup. I want to talk about the Somali ref for a second, because I know most of the people listening like to think of international travel going something like this. You book your flight. You show up to the airport on the day of the flight. You land at your destination. You go through some sort of passport control, and they stamp your passport, and you go about your merry way. That's international travel. I just need to have my passport, right? That process is not the same for Omar Artan, the Somali referee. He would have to have applied for a U.S. visa months ago. That means turning in his passport and supporting documents, including financial statements and an affidavit from his employer, FIFA, stating his purpose for visiting, where he'll be staying during his visit, how he will support himself during his visit, and when he's getting the fuck out of the country. That means FIFA will have booked all his flights, his hotel rooms, and provided proof of compensation months before he actually steps foot in the United States. Months before he steps foot on that flight to the United States. They won't even let him get on the plane without that visa in his passport. The embassy at the consulate at which he applied will have thoroughly reviewed all those documents and done any necessary background checks. Again, months before the flight to the United States. So for him to be flagged on entry isn't some random surprise. Oh my God. It's plain to see it's prejudicial treatment. Because America is desecrating the world's game. The American World Cup. The cartels declared a temporary truce during the World Cup. If you're keeping track at home, all the murderous, ruthless organizations decided to chill out for the World Cup except for one. I'll let you guess which one didn't sit it out. Mexico, victorious in their home opener, 2-0, which is amazing considering how shoddy they played. I've watched Mexican national team soccer for legit 40 years. They've never changed. The Brazilian referee on the microphone after the VAR. Ladies and gentlemen, he's no Billy Kennedy. Canelo at the game, looking fat and drunk. Celebrities, they're just like us.
I gotta tell you, I saw some of these Mexican fans. They got great fans.
Same.
Yeah, South Korea too. Mwah. We are all the South African players trying to understand the words coming out of the Brazilian referee's mouth. Again, there were pictures, but we'll fix it in post. South Africa, on the losing side of the opener, gave up 2 goals and received 2 red cards. Other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? The Brazilian referee handing out 3 red cards. He's no Billy Kennedy, but he might be Billy Crystal.
Hey.
And then there's a picture of Billy Crystal from Forget Paris, ejecting everyone.
I'm being told there are no pictures of me.
There were pictures in the document that I sent to multiple people. So
they were sending a PDF, so it was wrong format.
No pictures of me.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, next time, appropriate format. All right?
All
Now,
right.
everyone, let's
Okay.
lay our swords down and realize we'll be better next time. It starts with us.
Oh, and Ethan's not in today,
Now-
so.
South Korea and Czechia. It's the same format I send the pictures in every week, but whatever.
Again with the
South
pictures.
Korea and I'm just saying.
It
like,
starts
it's
with
like-
us.
All right. Every week, but okay. South Korea and Czechia played a hell of a match in Guarfuda. And then there was a picture of Lou Dobbs. Because that's funny. Wang in bomb.
Hey, kill back here. Back row. That has a historical context. I love that joke immediately. And it was a
Thank you.
banger of a game. A clash of styles.
Great game.
I was locked
I
in.
love South Korea. Hwang In-bom, goal of the tournament. And I love that he grinned before the ball even crossed the line. Go back and watch the replay. Or maybe see the picture that I had. Like, the ball is still in the air, and he's got a smile on his face like, oh, I got these guys nasty on this one. Love it. I love the World Cup. Zaz and Mike and Tony and Roy and Chris and everyone else. I'd like to debut a little sub show within the show. Keep it track at home. The show's the Dan Le Batard Show. We have World Cup Observations is a show within the show. And within that, I've got a show within the show with a show called Back in My Day World Cup Edition. Back in my day, you only had 2 subs. 5? You need 5 substitutions? Give me a break. Speaking of breaks, back in my day, we didn't get a hydration break. You just toughed it out. If you got tired, you went by the goalie, he had a little water bottle there. Maybe you get to the sideline, they throw you a water bottle, you throw it back. Time out. We need a hydration break, everyone. What the hell is that? Are we handing out orange slices too? And then I had a nice AI picture that I created of kids, soccer kids,
Again with the
eating orange
pictures.
slices.
I'm
I'm trying to describe for the audience. It's a theater of the mind thing.
It starts with us. Amin, it was 67 degrees for that Czechia-South Korea
Oh my
match, but
gosh.
they needed a
I
hydration
need my
break.
water
Czechia, what
break.
country is that?
My water break. Oh, I can go on now. All right. Leave it to the American World Cup to give us the Mountain Dew hydration break brought to you by Dodge Ram. Again, because we were actively desecrating the game.
In loud we trust.
The American World Cup. You know who I miss? Mike, join me in this one. You miss this guy too? I miss Sepp Blatter. Sure, he was corrupt as all get out. But at least his corruption made other world leaders kiss his ass instead of the other way around. If he was still around, we'd have a World Cup held in North America as opposed to the American World Cup. Those are the World Cup observations.
Very good. Mike, what were you telling me before
What, I'm the only soccer guy? Come on.
the show? Oh, yeah, all right.
And next time,
All
get
the
photos.
references went this way.
Send some photos next time.
Yes.
I mean, what were you telling me? You were telling me about the broadcast of this World Cup this year. There are things you like about the broadcast so far, and there are things you don't like, right?
So I was a little confused at they had 2 matches, and the presentations were a little bit different. Now, international soccer is more vibrant. I'm used to the European presentation, and FIFA has usually followed that. But they did some unique things before this match. I mean, I don't know if you felt the same way, but the in-stadium music that leads up to the kickoff, it's a festive atmosphere. They were actually feeding that through the truck, and it was cool. You had Ian Dark and Landon Donovan going through the starting lineup as you have, like, Shakira playing in the background.
Yeah.
Crystal clear. Well,
I like Shakira.
I mean,
allegedly Shakira.
Shakira body double.
Yeah, allegedly Shakira. But the song was actually playing, and I was like, man, this is fun. This is vibrant. You can actually feel the watch party still dancing in place as we lead up to kicking off. And also, they've introduced these goal songs after a nation scores that are, in line with these countries and the style of these countries. So Mexico,
Played Freebird for us?
I hope it's Freebird.
that'd be sick.
I don't know if FIFA ponied up the royalties
Or
for it.
Even Flow.
It'd be great. But they had a Mexican-style song with a big roar at the start, and I'm like, man, this is really cool. This is bumping. And in the second game, they kind of diluted the audio beforehand, which I kind of like that the international presentation for the World Cup, because it's one big party, is a little bit different. They took some risks, and I thought it paid off.
You know what? I'm tired of Freebird.
Nah,
it's been overplayed, man. We had the Olympics.
Crazy.
They're playing it all over the place on
insane.
ESPN for the hockey cover,
You're
and now we're doing it for
No,
the
you're
World
crazy.
Cup.
Roy,
You
Get a clue.
You stop.
Freebird.
Two
You stop.
Americas.
Gold medalist forever. Thank you, Freebird. Thank you, Leonard Skinner.
Roy, hold on, Roy. I can help you out here. You won't have to worry about Freebird being played too much during the World Cup, because the national team is going to shit the bed as they always do.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So I want to get to NBA stuff
Oh, he got us.
with Amin here. We got Game 5 tomorrow.
I don't have to get you. The World Cup is going to get you. It always does.
All right, everybody.
It always does. And we always do this. Every World Cup we do this. I start by talking shit and big guy, and then you guys fall flat on your face, and then I'm like, I told you so.
It starts with us. This whole us versus them thing. When you're an American too, I don't get it. Come on, boys in red, white, and blue.
I support the U.S. women's national team to the day I die. The men's national team, you guys are a joke. I don't respect any of you except for Tim Weah.
So you're a front runner. So you're a front runner.
Well, luckily Tim Weah is one of our best players, so hopefully
I respect him.
Tim
If
Weah?
the World Cup were determined by best flag, who would win the World Cup? You know what? I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't know if I'm wearing my patriotism. I think it's the U.S. of A.
No way.
I think you're right.
The finest flag.
I think you're right. Stars
on
and
the
stripes,
big blue
baby.
marble.
I like Portugal.
It's a handsome flag.
Canada's got a decent flag.
Yep. Canada has maybe the best national anthem. France it comes down to France or Canada if that were the measure.
I would say best flag.
Canada.
Hey, Cabo Verde has a cool flag. Kazakhstan got a cool flag. Like, I like flags where it's like it's not just colors. It's like it's designs of Brazil. Brazil's got that globe with the Ordem y Progreso written around.
Croatia's got a banger.
Croatia, because then the checker thing factors into everything they do.
I don't like Switzerland's because it's smaller. It's not your prototype of a flag size. It's just a little square.
Switzerland, Canada, it's just like, this is the thing we know. Mexico's got a cool one because of the eagle killing the snake or whatever.
They just put an eagle on an Italian flag, and that's cool. I like eagles.
Well, no, there's a snake too. It's got the snake in its clutches because there's a whole lore behind it. So you don't know nothing about it.
We got an eagle with a snake somewhere. Hold on a second, Dave. Tell these guys.
That's true. We do. Don't tread on it. Which nation has the best food? Amin and company.
My gosh.
I have the right answer for this for you. You ready?
I love a Brazilian.
It's the one I just said. It's the United States of America. That's the nation that has the best food. At worst, the U.S. is the second best iteration of every style of food on the big blue marble, right?
Did you see that? Did you see our guy Freddie, the German fan, who's relishing and going to Buffalo Wild Winds and where else has he gone, Mike? He's gone Waffle House. He went to Waffle House at 2 in the morning.
I saw yesterday was it Buffalo Wild Wings yesterday?
Yeah, he also stumbled upon a Confederate monument. I'm going to vote for Mexico with best food.
Best food.
I already told you, Mexico. Great fans.
Japan. Best
Still those
food.
fans? Good fans.
Korea. I had bulgogi last night. Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want and where did you have it? In these United States. So you could either be in Korea and have it and it would be delicious, but at worst, the 1A best version of any food stuff you'll get is in the United States of America.
I learned something very important yesterday, that the most popular KFC location in the world is the one in Jamaica. And it's like they got lines around it all the time because somehow they're making it different. They're making it with a Jamaican slant, so it's the most popular KFC. If you go to a KFC anywhere, go to the one in Jamaica.
Amin, can we talk about the NBA Finals here?
Sure.
So this clip is now floating around on Twitter throughout the day yesterday.
No. NBA Finals talk starts with an apology.
No, the series isn't over. I mean, you're like Draymond Green telling Jalen Brunson, in a game from now, I'm going to congratulate you.
I'm not. It's not even about congratulating. I'm just telling you guys that's what it looks like when it's your first time at the rodeo.
Okay.
All of these things are not happening.
No, you're right.
Because all of a sudden they forgot how to play basketball. It's because They're kids who have never been here before, including the guy that everyone told me, oh, but he's got the playoff experience. He's played 7 games in his life.
Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. All right, De'Aaron Fox. And
is that what we're talking about? Okay.
And so, like, I made the point yesterday, and I think I'm right. I don't think you could bring De'Aaron Fox back if you're San Antonio next
to the
year.
NBA. He shouldn't be back in the NBA.
Well, look, let me tell you something. Terry Rozier was watching the end of that game there tonight. He doesn't know what the hell De'Aaron Fox was doing. But De'Aaron Fox, for the money that he's making, like, they literally brought him in to be, I know you're making the point he's only played an X amount of playoff games, still a veteran. He's still a veteran of the NBA. They brought him in to be a veteran, and when you're making that kind of money, not only do they expect you to make the winning plays, you can't make the losing plays. So, like, I don't think he's going to be back with the team next year, and it's also because Dylan Harper clearly is going to be the starter next year. And between Harper and Castle and Wembanyama, you really don't need to pay De'Aaron Fox $200+ million. But that's not the point that I want to make right now. Yesterday, floating around the internet, came that clip from over a year ago. It was in December of 2024 last season, where Mike Brown, coach of the Sacramento Kings, who featured De'Aaron Fox. So I'll set this up for you, right? This was a late game situation, maybe against Chicago, because it was De'Aaron Fox. Oh, no, against Detroit. It was De'Aaron Fox guarding Jaden Ivey. Oh, Jaden Ivey, my God. Guarding Jaden Ivey. It was a 3-point game, all right? It was a 3-point game, seconds remaining. Sacramento's on defense. And De'Aaron Fox has totally slacked off of his player. Why? It's a 3-point game. Just don't give up the 3-point basket. And when Ivy, Fox's man, got the ball in the corner, Fox had to do a hard closeout. He fouled him. Basket was good. 4-point play. Game over. And it led to Mike Brown after the game. Here's the clip. Again, this is from last year. Mike Brown talking about what happened on that final play.
If you're up 3, you gotta guard your man at the 3-point line, and there should be no closeout opportunity. No closeout opportunity. We told them that they know the only thing that can hurt us is a 3. And I need to go back and watch the film to see exactly where Fox was, but there was no reason for there to be a hard closeout. We were okay with them scoring a 2 at the rim, so you should not be in position to help at all. You should be hugged up to your man at the 3-point line. Everybody should. And why there was a closeout by Fox, I'm not sure. I got to go back and watch the tape. But for sure, 100%, we told our guys, can't give up a 3. Can't give up a 3. Can't give up a 3. Stay connected. Stay on the high side. Stay on the high side. I even drew an example of if your guy's on the floor, just hop on his high side. The only thing that can hurt us is a 3. And we close out and we foul with 3 seconds to go. That's tough.
Okay, that was in December of last season. That is a hard call-out of an individual player that you especially of De'Aaron Fox's stature, that you very, very, very rarely hear a coach do. He totally threw him under the bus, rightfully so, I guess, but totally threw him under the bus. You never hear that. Mike Brown was fired the very next day. He was fired the next day. And the point that I'm trying to make here is, to me, I don't know if this is true, that sounded like a level of frustration from a coach that was likely built up over a long period of time with said player making, maybe low IQ plays, which we saw several of them late in the fourth quarter of Game 4. That looked to me like a coach who was fed up with a specific player, and now you see what happened in Game 4 of the finals, and Mike Brown, because of that player, is a game away from winning an NBA championship.
Dan Le Batard levels of building up to a question that didn't actually come. You just wanted to make a point.
That was wild. In fact, even before the De'Aaron Fox question, there was another build-up for something that wasn't a question, just a take you wanted to get off the ground. I was marveling. It's the chair, pal.
I guess I can opine on your statement. Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox had a very good relationship, according to everyone in Sacramento, I was told. If you go back and listen to me talk about Mike Brown's firing a season ago, you'll hear me speak in unequivocal terms that it was bullshit, because this is an organization that is steeped in losing. that had not been to the playoffs in 3 collective bargaining agreements until Mike Brown came around. You talk about De'Aaron Fox. He's a player who, again, his entire experience in the NBA prior to this season is 2 seasons of being above 500. So we talk about a veteran who was, again, steeped in losing. All he played was losing basketball. He was surrounded by losing basketball. Mike Brown came around. I remember saying this, like, wow, they're a lot better defensively. He's a lot better defensively. And De'Aaron Fox was like, no, I've been playing the same exact way. I'm like, bullshit, you have. You haven't. You're clearly exerting effort on this side of the ball. You've been playing a lot faster on the other side of the ball, like moving the ball, not letting it stick to you. But this is a guy who thinks, yeah, what's the big deal? And so you see him make that mistake. And Zaz, I would argue the shocking part is not the mistake he made at the end of Game 4. The shocking part is afterwards he tried to defend it.
Yeah, he still didn't get it.
He didn't understand what he did. It was nuts.
He's like, oh, I was trying to go up 3. I'm like, yeah, you know what? How else you go up 3? When they foul you and you hit 2 free throws. Like, it's just, I don't understand how there could be any other kind of logic there. But again, I think when you talk about people who are veterans and veteran experience, I think that I take that term very seriously, and I only apply it to people who have been around and who have been around winning. And does that mean you have to have won championships? No. I talk about David West as an example years ago. David West was in Indiana, and they were on some very good teams. They won the conference finals. They couldn't get over the hump, which was LeBron and the Heat. David West ends up going to San Antonio for minimum, and then he goes to Golden State. I'm like, this guy's a winner, man. He knows what it takes to win. He's played high-level basketball, deep basketball several years. He knows what are the right things and the wrong things. And there are countless examples of these guys all over the league. I told you guys about that with Jimmy Butler. The guy's a winner. Even when you go, oh, what has he ever won? Like, no, it's these guys have been around and they know what the right decision is, what the wrong decision is. De'Aaron Fox, for as fabulous a career as he's had, he's made a lot of money. He's put up some nice numbers. But never forget, most of his Sacramento time, other than 2 years, 1 year they made the playoffs and 1 year they made the play and they got knocked out, was losing. And he came to San Antonio last year, and you know what they did? They lost. And again, I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying he has not been around high-level winning in his NBA career. And so for him to make that mistake, to me, it's just solidifying the point I made about all of them. It's their first time at the rodeo.
Two quick questions to kind of better understand that late game situation that they're even talking about still on First Take. Is that the craziest atmosphere you've ever been in covering all of basketball? Because that seemed insane. You've been to a lot of great games.
Yeah. Game 7, 2016, I think, because of the stakes and, all the big plays down the stretch. I always say in order for the Cavs to beat the Warriors in 2016, they needed Steph to be less than 100%. They needed Andre Iguodala to get hurt. They needed Andrew Bogut to get hurt. They needed Draymond Green to be suspended a game. They needed Harrison Barnes to have the worst 7-game series of his life. They needed Steve Kerr to somehow play the only 3 players with a negative plus-minus in the fourth quarter, which were Harrison Barnes, Festus Ezeli, and Anderson Varejao. And then they still needed LeBron to make the greatest defensive play in NBA Finals history. They needed Kyrie Irving to hit one of the biggest shots in Finals history. And then they needed Kevin Love to be one-on-one versus Steph Curry and to guard him. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of stuff that needed to happen in that. But it's like that's what makes it so magical and special. It's like this is sports. Right. Yeah, it sounds so far-fetched, but something like that can happen.
I'm more talking about
the
atmosphere.
The only thing that separates it is the atmosphere was the same. It just was muted because they lost at the end.
Uh-huh.
But the only difference in those 2 scenarios is that was a game 7, and this one was a game 4.
The reason why I'm asking is because in watching the broadcast, not even the broadcasters picked up on what De'Aaron Fox did. So I'm curious if that moment, it was insane. The Wembanyama free throw attempt was just bananas. I don't think I've ever seen a basketball crowd in America look that crazy.
Everyone says it was the loudest the Garden's ever been.
I'm just trying to understand what happened there. Was that a player that isn't the most mature, isn't the smartest player on the court, just totally caving with the atmosphere feeding into it? Or would he have done that in Game 47 at New Orleans?
Are you talking about Wemby or Fox?
I'm talking about Fox right now.
Fox, by his comments after the game, it's pretty clear. That's what I would have done. Yeah. Like he had zero regrets about that.
I got to say, I think, Mike, you're hitting on something that these guys have been around it for the entirety of their lucid lives. They've been in big spots. It came through my TV that last few seconds of the game were owed to there was a different level of intensity, a noise maybe in MSG. You felt that coming through the TV, and I don't agree with Amin that necessarily Fox would have done in Game 47 in a random environment what happened in MSG the other night. You felt the pressure on those cats, right?
The pressure was there. I don't think it was the noise. It was loud, but it's not the loudest arena I've ever been in. It was pretty loud, though. But it was also, it's the pressure of we blew a 29-point lead.
Right, exactly.
That's the pressure. The pressure isn't, oh, my God, Mariska Hargitay is too loud. It's not that. It's I blew a 29-point lead. But I say that to say that if he blew a 29-point lead in Game 47 against New Orleans, I think he makes the same dumb play because he's a guy who has not been in these types of situations before a lot. He's not a guy that I would consider to be a savvy veteran. Now, Wemby missing those free throws? Absolutely.
That's
he talked a bunch of shit earlier in that game. Oh, I'm in your head. And guess what? Karma's a bitch. The everything that was in his head came spilling out and went back in. And so he absolutely crumbled in that moment. And that's why I keep saying all the greats go through this. And by the way, this might apply to Fox too, to be honest with you. All the greats go through this. They go through the hard times. They go through what I said, Tragic Johnson for Magic Johnson, and Shaq getting swept, and Kobe's 4 air balls, and Michael getting beat up by the Pistons. This is the way this league works, man. Nobody gets a pass. You come in, you get your ass kicked, and you have to figure it out. And the great ones learn from it and get better as a result. And the ones who are not so great disappear, like Ben Simmons, getting scared of Trae Young. What happened to him there was a pivotal, crucial crossroads. He could have came back a much better player. He didn't.
I agree that the NBA is distinct from the other leagues because of exactly what you say, and not just individuals, but entire teams. It's a progressive quality to it, which is you get into the playoffs one year, you get that experience, maybe you make a deep run, then maybe you're ready to start winning titles. And that's a little bit different in the last handful of years than what it's been over the course of our lives. But I think what you just hit on there, Amin, is the key detail. De'Aaron Fox has taken up a lot of the oxygen that otherwise would be directed at Wemby. You know, if you talk about all sports, some of the most memorable things are Ernest Biner's fumble and Bill Buckner and so on and so forth, and Chris Webber's timeout, young in his career as he was, and all of that. What distinguishes Wemby, he threw the ball into Castle's ass with 9 seconds to go earlier in the same series and then miss those free throws. I wonder how much of a stink is going when we get away from this. Zaslow and I went back and forth on this on Football America today. Upcoming, he says Fox is the guy who people are going to target when this is all over, assuming the Knickerbockers
I don't think his career's ever going to be the same.
Wemby. I think Wemby has to wear this one, though. This is on him. He blew it twice.
I think Fox has a very high kind of intensity point that you can easily criticize Fox for 2 reasons. One, it's a universally dumb play, or 3 reasons, excuse me. One, it's a dumb play. 2, he would not own up to it the way Wemby did after game 2. It's like, yeah, that's my bad. And 3, hey, no one's going to ever criticize you for saying Fox messed up or Fox somehow was lesser than, because it's some guy. Wemby has the glow. He's the golden child. Right, he's the golden child. Oh, he went and he sketched a statue in Gramercy Park. Oh, he's meditating on the rooftop of the Ritz. He's got this thing about him that's going to make people want to defend him, and over time, people are going to kind of erase the stuff. LeBron's big failing was Jose Juan Barea locking him down.
Oh, you go Jose Juan instead of JJ, huh?
Wow.
But it's like LeBron at that point in his time was like a polarizing guy already because the way he came to Miami, right? Wemby hasn't had the polarization moment. There's the only people I think who really hate him are Knicks fans. They hate Wemby, man.
And Thunder fans.
They hate him. No, Thunder fans don't hate him. Thunder fans didn't do.
Another group of us.
Fuck you, Wemby was not ringing from Paycom Arena.
It's a Venn diagram is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So
if you're MAGA, you hate him. There, I said it.
Xenophobes, right? Exactly.
No, it's 100% batting average from where I'm sitting. I hate the guy.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of rank and file New Yorkers who don't like him. They don't like him. They think he's dirty. They think he tried to take out Jalen Brunson. Like, that's a real thing, dude. Like, the streets of New York hate Wemby. Hate him. Not like, I'm rooting against him or, they hate him.
But they were also looking for a reason, too, because it was the only thing really missing from this NBA Finals.
But Wemby's name's on the streets?
It was not that he hasn't done some stuff, not that he hasn't done some villainous stuff, but they were looking for a reason because that's what sports fans always do. And that market in particular,
Mike,
they were looking to get in somebody's head. They were looking to make somebody to direct their ire to, and Wemby fit the profile.
Mike, nobody threw an egg at James Harden. No one threw an egg at C.J. McCollum. Remember when they were talking, C.J., you're the next Trae Young. No one threw eggs at those dudes, man.
No, but they hated Trae Young. But, they didn't face any adversity with James Harden.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. I don't – look, Trae Young never got an egg thrown on him. How about that? They still say –
They spit on him.
I'd rather get spit on than have an egg.
What?
I disagree.
No. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Halliburton's – I think even – you can make an argument even more hated than Trae Young. We just forgot about it because he didn't play. I mean, Halliburton would go to WWE shows in New York, and literally
that's good heat.
Beg them.
That's him hamming it up, though, right? Like Wemby's not hamming it up. He's just doing him, which is, by the way,
he is
a lot of
hamming
things
it
that
up,
I would
let's
want.
be honest.
I would want my best play. I would want my best player to be on the edge like that. I would. I really I think if he played for the Knicks, they would love him. But the fact is, he doesn't play for the Knicks, and so they are looking at him like he is the worst thing ever. Like he's Satan incarnate.
Yeah, there's conversations about that in the group chats. But more importantly, I don't want my best player, my franchise face, dribbling up a mountain that is dangerous where you can fall off and die. But that's another story that's probably fake. Anyways, getting to the point of getting people's passes, right? Mitch Johnson getting a little bit of a pass for some coaching decisions. Dylan Harper, where is he late in games, playing Wemby a ton of minutes when they were up 20? Like, what'd you think of Mitch Johnson, his coaching so far, and is he going to skate on any sort of blame?
I think he'll get some blame. And again, I'll say the same thing about Mitch that I've said about his team. First time at the rodeo. I don't care how many times you've been there as an assistant coach. It's different when it's your call, right? David Blatt, years ago, we ridiculed him for saying it's like being a fighter pilot, the number of decisions you have to make. He wasn't wrong, man. Like, if it's your first time, it can be overwhelming. And Mitch Johnson, I think, got overwhelmed. Hell, after the game, as I'm walking to the press conferences, I'm thinking to myself, well, Mitch is going to come out and say, look, the fact of the matter is we've had a double-digit lead in all 4 of these games. We should be winning these games. We have to figure out a way to finish better, but I like where we're at. Or something like positive, something to look forward to. That dude looked shell-shocked in his press conference. Every question, he kind of just had a blank stare and had to, really process, what did you just ask me? Because I was thinking about how we just blew a 29-point lead. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's because it's his first time at the rodeo. The other thing, Tony, I'll say about Mitch Johnson, because every time something goes wrong with the Spurs, everyone says, oh, what did Pop say? You cannot outsource being a bad cop. He's got to learn how to be a bad cop with his team and let Pop be the uplifting grandpa. But it can't be Pop is the one that gives it to him real, and then I come here and it's like, come on, guys, we can do it.
Good job, Amin. Enjoy the weekend of games.
Oh, enjoy the World Cup, baby. Let's go.
So, brand new episode of South Beach Sessions. You want to make sure you catch. Dan was joined by Beth Stelling. Let's give you a little bit of that.
I think for the most part, the times I've worked with my mom mainly was the podcast that we had together, and we would call comedians moms. And my mom really loved that. And we were doing that during the pandemic, and it was so sweet and so fun. It was meant to sort of learn more about the comedian, and we always ended up talking to the mom and learning about her. So my mom sort of made a bunch of new friends. And I am so proud of my mom. Being someone who's able to receive new information and change and grow as she ages and learn new things and be open to that. So yeah, even if she said something that was ooh, that's not really right anymore, or that's not what we feel, I would talk about it with her and she'd go, okay, thank you for telling me that. I didn't think about it that way. And people got to listen to that and hear the change in person without embarrassing her or making it seem like she's a bad person or something like that. And this is not something that happened often, but something to answer your question, were there challenges? And it's that's kind of the little minimalist part of it.
So but it was a joy to do then. It was like all of it, just making it, connecting with her
We
there.
even got to do Just for Laughs Montreal before the pandemic, and we did our podcast live with a couple of moms. And the cutest thing is like we're finally live, and she'd be talking, and then just the microphone would slowly lower, and I'd reach over and put the microphone back up to her mouth, because she's like a little shy. She's not a ham, but she's funny in her own sort of amazing naivete.
Yeah, no, when I think back on what it is that I did with my father, I would have liked to have been more gentle. And I wasn't not gentle. He required a great deal of patience. But the snapshots I have is he's doing his best. This isn't his chosen profession. He's doing it with me daily. I feel like I should have had endless patience with him.
Yeah, but that's hard. It is hard to do with your own parent.
Well,
and I've had a dark mantra that I have said to myself when I catch myself being an asshole, which is like, she'll die and your life will be over. So remember that.
So a nice little treat lately, where some of you guys who stick around, for the live show during the breaks, we give you a little something, all right? We give you a little treat, and this is a new segment called Good Play or Bad Play. Is everybody ready?
I feel like it's usually pretty clear whether a play is good or bad.
We'll see. All right. Good. Excellent theme song for Good Play or Bad Play.
Is this 9 Inch Nails? What is this?
I don't know, but I think it fits. So, good play or bad play, we will show a play and we will all decide if this was a good play or a bad play. At Cleveland Browns mini camp, all right? Their quarterback, Shedeur Sanders.
You are really in your bag right now.
Shedeur Sanders.
Oh
my God, look at that. Shedeur Sanders, he's trying to complete a pass over the middle. The defensive tackle, all he does is put his hand up.
He puts his hand up like 5 seconds before he throws it.
And Shedeur just throws right into Buddy's hand for the pass deflection. Chris Cody, is this a good play or bad play?
This is a good play by the defender.
Just to piggyback on what Chris Cody said. That play right there, bad play. Bad play.
Bad play by your quarterback.
Roy, good play or bad play?
Bad play. Bad play. By Sanders.
Dave Damashek, is that good play or bad play?
Bullseye.
I'm going to tell you something.
How about the game's not bullseye?
Bad
play or bad play?
No, it's not bullseye. Bad play. The rules are very
not
simple.
A bullseye.
I'm going to tell you something. When you're the quarterback and you throw it directly into the hand of the tackle, that's bad play. Bad play.
Coming up on Mystery Crate today, we are tiering Steven Spielberg movies. We are all getting assigned a World Cup team to do book report on.
Do we have to do the book report?
I don't think so.
I thought we were just going to watch the team.
How about we just do like one fun fact?
Okay, well, I like that. One fun fact.
But it better be fun, though. If you're going to play fun fact, you better come with a fun fact. Anyways, we got a lot coming up here today. Rose is doing her thing. Zaz has got an old-ass story. And Tony, we're just mystery creating the shit out of this episode. So you better check it out.
A Miami commissioner is weaponizing government against me. The future of the Port of Miami, which is Florida's fifth biggest economic driver, is in jeopardy thanks to the incompetence of Miami-Dade government. Or is it actually a long con? Plus, another episode in the never-ending series of Florida Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. All new because Miami.
Nick, before we let you talk about the Steelers, you're in luck because we have the Love Doctor. The Love Doctor is here. He is ready. He is in his office right now. Dr. Greg Cody getting everybody ready for Mother's Day this weekend. And we have questions. The Love Doctor is going to have the answers. Who's up first?
I know a lot of people are going to come to you and they're going to want to know, how do you keep it interesting? Me, I'm not interested in interesting. So how do you keep it predictable? How do you keep it ho-hum? How do you just let it just be?
Was that Jason Tatum asking that question?
Young lady, you are my kind of gal. That's my lane. That's my lane of romance. I invented predictable. Nobody has perfected the art of dull routine like yours truly. As a matter of fact, little inside information here, my wife and I schedule our naughty time months in advance, like doctor's appointments. Quite often, she'll have to cancel because she said something came up. Unfortunately, sometimes I'll have to cancel because something didn't come up. That kind of thing.
It's a good look for us.
Do we have another question for the Love Doctor here after such great advice?
With Chris listening.
Oh, we're doing it, baby.
What are you guys doing, man?
Oh, you want question number 2?
Yeah, let's go question number 2.
Oh, yeah, Greg. Hey, man, I need your help, man. So I'm out of town for Mother's Day, trying to figure out what can I get my girl for Mother's Day in another city.
Oh, wow. Buddy, I'm worried about this. Not one, but 2 of the Love Doctor's marriages began rending like cheap fabric when Greg was either out of town at a sporting event or away at a doctoral conference. And the exes were doing the clandestine bumpy bump behind my back. Jack, I suggest you get your girl what you'd never expect, a private eye to keep an eye on her randy ass.
You know about that randy ass, Nick?
I don't like this at all.
Thank you, Love Doctor. Don't go anywhere. We may go back to you. Appreciate you.
I don't like this at all.
Somehow, the least embarrassing Cody on today's show.
Wait till Nick finds out that Chris, with Greg sitting nearby, admitted about a half an hour ago that when he's having a hard time becoming aroused, he thinks of his wife's twin sister to get in the mood.
It was a shocking revelation.
That's what happened, Nick.
Shocking.
That happened.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It was shocking.
Unnecessary, also.
I don't like. This isn't. Again, I might need a mean here. This isn't kayfabe. Kayfabe?
Kayfabe.
Which is it? I don't know.
Kayfabe, wrestling nerd here at your service.
This isn't.
Zaz could have
thanks,
helped
Mike Ryan. This isn't kayfabe. I don't like this at all. And I would appreciate if you guys turned the music off. This is not great.
So the Steelers. Are you ready to do your catchphrases? I heard there's some controversy around the. It's the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. He is counting down his top 50 catchphrases of all time. It has been a successful months-long joke. What is the controversy surrounding your catchphrase list? What is the issue?
It's big. The controversy is that based on quality demand, the catchphrase countdown has suddenly increased from a top 50 to a top 60.
What?
That's
What?
right. And it's controversial.
Of course it is. You told us it was a top 50, and we told you it was something you were making up as you went along, and that you weren't going to get the numbers right, and now you just changed it.
He botched it to such a degree that there are so many good ones left that we're just pushing all the
I
current
knew that was
ones
going to
back.
happen, though. That's exactly
That's
what
what we were saying.
Your brain beating me.
How did this happen? What was the ruling? What did the committee get together and decide? How did it happen that it got expanded? Now, no one's going to complain about this because more catchphrases is great, but we told you this was going to happen, and we told you this was a sloppy list by you.
The others, they all learn from me.
Yeah, right.
No, I looked at all the catchphrases remaining, and there was only 14 left, but there were like 20-something good ones. So I'm like,
thank you.
Let's go.
Wait a minute. So how did you do it, though?
This segment is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. And guys, I have opened up my trusty DraftKings sports app because it is now available in all 50 states. And I got a pick for you. A U.S. men's national team pick. They are kicking off their World Cup experience tonight at Los Angeles Stadium against Paraguay. And the bet that I like in this match, I think it's going to be tough. And I think we're going to get a little nervy, at least in the early going. I got both teams to score. The market price on that on the DraftKings Sports app that I got is plus 113. I locked that in. Both teams to score, yes. And now I am looking at the screen, and we got a friend of the program, the perfect guest, because we got the Stanley Cup going on, we got the World Cup going on, and it's a big day for Canada. Yeah. Sid Cichero joins the program. How's it going, Sid?
All right, let's go, Sid.
Yeah. Gentlemen, too kind. As always, what a day. What a weekend we got in store here. This is going to be something else.
What is your experience? Because you're based out of Toronto, Sid. Sid Cichero Show. You can catch YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcasts also. Now, the Knights are a game away from being eliminated, but, like, how are you handling the whole Mitch Marner thing?
Better if he loses. But I'll be honest with you. Like, that's going to be a tough one for Toronto. That's going to be a tough one. Now, this series has been so messed up. I'm not willing to throw away the Knights' chances going into Sunday night. But there's a familiarity now with the Knights that we've seen in Toronto a lot in the Mitch Marner years. And it's one question that was always asked at the end of a series. Here's the question. What's up with the power play? Mitch Marner power plays go quiet a little the longer the series goes. That has kind of been the deciding factor, goaltending aside. The power play for the Golden Knights has been awful, and it's not getting any better. So I do find it interesting how Mitch Marner, who nearly had a 4-goal night last Saturday in Game 3, was talked about as the surefire MVP of the entire postseason. And a couple of nights later, it's like, well, it has to be Jordan Staal. Like it's been one of the better Cup finals I've seen in a long time. And honestly, within the hockey world, what this will mean in terms of the greater analytics discussion is going to be staggering. Because we've been laughing at Eric Tulsky in Carolina for about 8 years. This will flip the script on all of that. With that said, it's been fascinating. And as someone in Toronto watching Mitch Marner do that, it's been really fascinating.
Dan isn't here today, but I'll ask you a point that Dan has made recently. You got Vegas and Carolina. Before this year, the previous 6 Stanley Cups were represented by either Tampa Bay or Florida. Like, is Canada as enraged about that? The Sun Belt teams, the non-traditional market teams, are they enraged at a Stanley Cup final like this one?
No, we're kind of used to it at this point. Listen, I think the whole league shouldn't be enraged with Vegas because they've come in and just slapped everyone in the face for the last 9 years and taught people how to do it properly. To hell with the picks, to hell with the prospects. We're going to bring in players that can help us now. No one has a right to be mad at Vegas. They've had more balls than anyone. In terms of and I don't want to make this room unhappy with me, but there is a feeling sometimes in Canada when you take the cup to the elbow room and there's 9 people there. That does make us feel a certain way. I don't mean that as a diss, a Miami shot. I'm just saying, as self-conscious hockey folk, that makes us feel a certain way.
How do we feel about what Sid just said, guys? Are we okay?
I mean, as somebody who got hammered at the elbow room the day after the last championship, I guarantee you there were dozens of people there, not 9.
The most offensive one by far, whatever happened in South Beach, is not comparable to when Anaheim won it. Everybody for every major championship turns out in droves, hundreds of thousands of people, except when the Anaheim Ducks won the Stanley Cup. They had to bribe people to show up at Disney with the Governator appearance and free wieners and Coke. That's how, not Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, to be clear. That's how they got them there, and still not very many people turned out. That was the all-time disgrace. But, Sid, it's better for Carolina for the NHL in terms of credibility of regular season and otherwise. It's a bad look if Tortorella shows up on the eve of the playoffs and the Knights end up winning the Stanley Cup. No?
It's, I think it's bad for, every head coach in the league. I think it's a terrible look. Because right now in the NHL, what do you do if you're in a bind? Just fire the guy with 8 games left or 5 games left. Like that's look, and I know there's a lot going on right now. This Mike Babcock story in Edmonton, in terms of what happened in Columbus a few years ago, it's been a circus with the coaches. Vegas won't let Bruce Cassidy interview with the Oilers or anyone else. They have him on a non-compete. It has been the Wild West. I will say this: I don't think Vegas are going to pull this out the way the goaltending is now going in Carolina's favor. But if Vegas come back and win, yeah, ownership will take notice. All 31 other teams around the NHL will go, that seemed to work. So listen, we had 2 coaches get fired like with games ago last year. It was Patrick Waugh and Bruce Cassidy. Patrick Waugh on Long Island. So yeah, if I'm a coach, I don't like this at all. If I'm an owner, I like that I could pull that lever and potentially get a couple of rounds out of it in the postseason.
Sid, you're going to help us out here. We're all into the World Cup. Some of us know a whole lot more than others do about the World Cup. It started yesterday. We have a couple of games today. So, Sid, you are going to help us with today's edition of Big Game or Not a Big Game.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Big Game or Not a Big Game with Jonathan Zaslow.
Oh, yes. All right, everybody calm down. Big game or not a big game? World Cup today, 3 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon. Canada versus Bosnia. How do I say the other country, Mike?
Yeah, they got to play 2 of them. Don't
Yeah.
forget about that. Herzegovina.
Herzegovina. Sid, Canada versus Bosnia-Herzegovina. Big game or not a big game?
Sorry, I hadn't heard the opening yet. I need a moment on the opening. Well played. Big game. How's it not a big game? Are we not a co-host? Like my brethren down in Miami? We are technically a co-host, a tri-host, if you will. This is the biggest sporting event on Canadian soil since the Olympic hockey game from 2010 in Vancouver. So of course it's a big game. We should, and because we're beating 2 countries, we should go 2-0 if we win this thing today.
All right.
No question about it.
All right.
Listen, I'm offended by the questions.
All right,
I'm
take
half
it
offended
easy.
by the questions.
All right,
take it easy.
Settle down. All right, big game and not a big game. 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Live, not from SoFi Stadium, Los Angeles Stadium. All right, Los Angeles Stadium tonight. The United States of America against Paraguay. Sid Cichero, big game and not a big game.
First off, the naming of these stadiums, just like Toronto Stadium up here and LA Stadium, it's like the early video games where they had no rights and you just kind of name things. Be better, FIFA. Find a sponsor. Huge game at SoFi/Los Angeles Stadium tonight. Huge game. I'm stunned. I don't want to say this. I am very surprised how good Mauricio Pochettino's teams looked in those final friendlies going into this tournament. I know the Germany game wasn't a win, but there was some skill on display. And if Christian Pulisic can wake up and continue at this pace, which he did not do, which cost AC Milan a Champions League spot this year in Italy, I think the States have round of 16 written all over them. It's not the toughest group. Big game. And I'm fascinated tonight. 2 big games.
Yeah, how about that? 2 for 2 in big games for the World Cup today.
Well, let's revisit that first big game. Canada, a lot of expectation last World Cup and a lot of big talk. They try to play teams. They try to hang with them, take the fight to them, and it didn't exactly work out. Lot of expectation now that they are a tri-host. This is a sneaky, tough opponent. I know I'm part Italian. What are you expecting from tonight?
Well, the thing that has my anxiety running right now is a story that broke this week from the Bosnia and Herzegovina consulate in Ottawa. And they are claiming, now again, the Toronto Stadium is, I believe, the smallest of all 16 venues in the World Cup with like 45,000. And they had to bring in like a lot of fake stands for that. They are claiming in Bosnia there's going to be 30,000 Bosnian supporters to this game today.
Wow. Isn't capacity's under 50K there?
45,000.
How?
Like, it's got some people nervous here.
How's that possible?
I don't know. Now, listen, you guys see the secondary prices the way we see them. It's insane. And that crowd in Guadalajara last night for South Korea and Czechia was not good at all. So, like, this could be an early storyline on multiple fronts. Again, I'm going to try and stay positive on this. If that building down by the lakeshore in Toronto is like 70% Bosnian for the game, I'm going to freak out. That's going to be an awful, awful look. In terms of the game itself, there's no Alphonso Davies. We did an interview with Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich a few weeks ago. He told us flat out he was never playing in this game. We ran a clip of the interview last Tuesday. After 2 hours online, some folks behind the scenes asked us to take it down because Canada Soccer was freaking out at the messaging that badly. They did not want it out this early that Alphonso Davies was not playing in this game, despite the fact he hasn't played 90 minutes for Bayern Munich since January. So the injury situation with Canada has been concerning. With that said, I don't think Bosnia are world beaters. They got some decent guys. There's no game breakers. Their best player might be their left back from Benfica, Mardetić. I think Canada can get their first point in tournament history today. A win would be amazing. Again, Canada's not the toughest group either. But there are some sub-storylines to this.
What about Herzegovina?
Similar scouting report, Zaz. Similar scouting report. Yes, no game breakers. We'll see. We'll see how they play against both teams today. Yes.
All right. It's an important question. How is Canada, like, I feel like it's a little bit muted down here, the World Cup, and that, like, the games are about to be here in Miami Gardens. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it to me. Like, there's going to be games here 10 minutes from my house. How does it feel up there in Canada? Like, does it feel like the World Cup is happening?
I'm glad you said that because had I not been downtown, we recorded a pod downtown yesterday with Michelob Ultra around the Fan Fest. So obviously around the Fan Fest, there's a feeling. Like you'd be hard pressed to kind of get that same feeling around town here. It's a strange vibe. It's an exciting vibe. Like today, everyone's excited, but it's not like the signage is overwhelming you coming into the city. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'm hard to take. I feel bad taking a hard right turn here, but I am curious. We were watching here at the house, me and Jean-Claude Van Dameshek last night. We're watching a little Hamilton Tiger Cats v. Blue Bombers from Winnipeg. And once again, the boy just discovered it. He was watching. He said, the field is bigger. And we were, going into some detail about the differentiation in the rules. And it led to where it always does for American football fans. How can we, without offending you, make the CFL a part of the NFL, and what it ultimately leads to is a minor league. But if you guys would be willing to change your field, imagine, I know it's a slap in the face given the history of the CFL, but imagine if we could create an environment in which we had relegation, where the 32nd NFL team was dropped to the CFL and the best CFL team jumped up into the NFL. Wouldn't that be better for everyone involved? We can do some UFL if that'll make everybody happy as well. Wouldn't that make pro football even more satisfying in North America?
That's quite a turn. I wasn't expecting the CFL question there. That is quite a turn. I like the CFL question. I'll say this. That's a non-starter. Here's why it's a non-starter. Stu Johnston is a guy who just became commissioner of the Canadian Football League. He made some rule changes that you guys might be familiar with. He moved the field goal posts to the back of the end zone. It's been at the front of the end zone for my entire lifetime. He moved into the back. Hardcore CFL fans didn't like that. He's making the field narrower. Hardcore CFL fans didn't like that. They're going to 100 yards. It's been 110 yards my whole life.
We're on the way. Yeah. I like this commish.
Guess who didn't like that? Hardcore CFL fans. That is about as far as you can take it without losing your base. As we all know, in 2026, your base is important. And I don't believe this alternate partnership with the NFL would work. But it's an interesting idea.
But relegation, that's to me, that's the brass ring for all of North American sports leagues. That's what we need to steal from across.
Dave, I actually have a working theory that we may actually see it in college football if they get this Super League, and that's a cool way to make the regular season matter. Sid, I have a question back to soccer. I know you always got an eye on the Portuguese national team. I like their chances this year. I think Vitinha is one of the best players in the world. He doesn't score all the goals, but if you watch a game, you know the game. You know this guy's a dynamite player. I'm a little worried about Ronaldo messing things up for them. Do you agree with me that you like their chances to win this World Cup?
I'd like them better if everyone else didn't like them as much. Like, it makes me nervous how much they're being talked up. Like, they're being talked up like the way Nigeria was being talked up in 1994 in that World Cup, when Pele said, well, Nigeria are going to win the first African World Cup. Now, in terms of what you said about the PSG guys, Vitinha and João Neves and Nuno Mendes, like, there's really two nations in this tournament that have players that have won 2 straight Champions Leagues. It's France and it's Portugal. I like that as someone who follows the Portuguese national team. I'm a fan of that. The problem is you have an ego at the front of the train that is immovable. Andre the Giant was more movable than this object at the front of Portugal's spear in Cristiano Ronaldo. The ego is unlike anything we've ever seen. It's crazy. Now, he's 41. We've been told through the media, look, what's good for the team is what will be done. Ronaldo's not going to go out there and run around huffing and puffing at 41 years old for 90 minutes if it's not working. That's what we've been told in this tournament. That we were told that 2 years ago in the Euros, 4 years ago in Qatar. They tried to sit him in Qatar. It didn't work out there either. Like, Portugal, for some reason, have tripped themselves up often, when on paper they've looked like the better team. I'm still trying to figure out how they lost to Morocco 4 years ago in the quarterfinals. I don't know how that happened. But on paper, this seems like it's the group. I think in the central midfield, they have a Spain vibe back in the day of Xavi and Iniesta. They're not that level, but they're pretty good. And I like their chances. But again, they've been their own worst enemy at times, and we'll see.
Sid's going to give you plenty of World Cup coverage. Sid Seixeiro Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Great job, Sid. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Sid. On the way out, you got your eyes on a potential fraud?
Oh, there's some fraudulent behavior that might go on in this tournament, for sure. I'll give you, how about this? I think Lamine Yamal could be the fraud of the tournament.
Most people's pick for young player of the tournament? An incredible player?
But he's banged up. He didn't finish the season at Barcelona. Now, Barcelona had nothing to play for, but I'm just saying, I'm a huge Lamine Yamal guy. There's the fraudulent belt is on the table, and it could go to Lamine Yamal.
Great job. Thanks, Sid. Appreciate it, man.
Take care, guys.
We got the hockey returning to Sunday night, Game 6, Vegas and Carolina. Roy, hockey watch-along?
Yeah, we got a hockey watch-along on Sunday for Game 6. The Hockey Show, myself, David Dwork, Rosie, and Ethan will be doing a watch-along, and possibly we'll see Carolina lift the Stanley Cup on Sunday night. You can watch it on the Le Batard Show YouTube page or the Hockey Show DLS.
I like the commercial they showed last night because, Game 6, obviously the Cup could be won in a Game 6, and it was like, well, we'll see you Sunday, and it was a picture of the Cup because the Stanley Cup's going to be in the building on Sunday night. Do you think the New York Knicks, like, the Knicks fan wants the Knicks to win tomorrow, right? Like, you love the idea. In a perfect world, you win the NBA Finals at home, but I feel like the Knicks kind of got their championship celebration 2 nights ago. Like, they could win. If they win the championship in a Game 6 at the Garden, they blow out the Spurs. The celebratory feeling would be muted compared to what happened a few nights ago, right, Dave? Like, they got the big championship in-person moment. So they got it already. So you have to root for them to win tomorrow on the road if you're a Knicks fan, right?
I think you just said it. In fact, it's funny because when you were talking about the Canes fans as the final moments ticked off down there in Carolina last night, the fans seized the moment. The standing ovation and all of that felt like next time we see you guys, you're going to have a cup to hold up over your heads and go get them in Vegas was the vibe there. And if you're smart, if you're a Knickerbockers fan, not that you can actually influence, I don't think by rooting for it from your couch, that is the result you obviously want to get. You do not want to mess around with the sports gods and root for your team to lose so you can attend the celebration. That's bad form, and that's fraught with curses and such.
Guys, I told you I'm going to see Disclosure Day this afternoon, and specifically before Team USA plays.
Are you worried?
About Disclosure Day? It's not a documentary, Tony.
They're trying to tell us that's very close to what's going to be the truth that's coming out.
So I'm going to see Disclosure Day this afternoon, but let me tell you something. A couple of days ago, I saw the new He-Man movie. Oh, my God.
You've mentioned that.
Oh, my God. I think it's the greatest cartoon to movie adaptation ever. I was so worried. I was a huge He-Man fan. Of course, I'm a kid of the 80s, all right? I was a huge He-Man fan. I had all the toys. And 40 years ago, 39 to be exact, 40 years ago, Masters of the Universe starring Dolph Lundgren came out in theaters. I had the flu. I was 6 years old and I had the flu. Didn't matter. I told my dad, we're going to see Masters of the Universe. I won't cough on you, I promise. And we went to go see Masters of the Universe because I love He-Man. And 40 years later, this movie's out. And I told my son I'm going to take him. He's 14 years old. He doesn't have a clue about He-Man. He knows nothing. I'm like, you're coming with me, okay? I took him, and my 20-year-old cousin is staying with us also this week. He doesn't know shit about He-Man either. He's Canadian. I don't even know if they have TV there. So I take him and my son. We go see He-Man a couple days ago. And I was worried about this movie because you look at the trailer, I'm like,
trailer.
I don't know. It looks corny. I don't know if this movie's going to be any good. I'm worried. I'm worried about this movie. And I see the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and I had friends texting me a few days ago, have you seen He-Man yet? And I'm like, no, I'm going to see that. You're going to love it. And the Rotten Tomatoes scores are very high. The reviews are very, very good. And if I could tell you how much I loved this movie, it is so good. If you're a child of the 80s, like me, if you loved He-Man, who was my absolute favorite, you're going to love this movie. And dare I say...
What is this, an ad?
Dare I say, Jared Leto, who's a terrible actor, does terrible films, he's awful. Jared Leto.
Famously give awards to terrible actors.
He's terrible.
I'm with you, though, lately.
Jared Leto...
Cold streak.
...is phenomenal as Skeletor. Incredible. He nails it. He's great as Skeletor. Anyway, I love this movie so much. Everything you want, it has. And it got me thinking, all right? I got a top 5 for your asses today. You ready for this?
It's for my ass.
Top 5 for your asses today. I got a top 5. It is top 5 all-time 80s cartoon villains.
How are they all time if it's just
all time? Top 5 all-time 80s cartoon villains. You ready?
So ready, Zaz.
No, all I. We're getting right after
it. We're workshopping back here a theory that you talk like that because you've hosted shows by yourself for so long that you have
stretch.
Like this is just another person.
I ask
that
a question
create.
and then I answer it with this voice.
Good point.
Number 5, Shredder.
Now you know who did the voice of Shredder?
Who?
Uncle Phil.
Oh, really? That's cool. All right. Love Uncle Phil. Shredder, the big bad from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, he's trying to kill... Not only trying to kill the Turtles are kids. They're teenagers. They're teenage. He's trying to kill teenagers. Very bad. Number 5 is Shredder. Number 4, Cobra Commander. Oh, yeah. G.I. Joe's number 1. He's a terrorist. That's literally the character. He's a terrorist. Obviously, Cobra Commander is going to be one of the top villains, but he only comes in at number 4. He's very bad, though. Terrorism. Number 3, Megatron. Transformers. Come on. Autobots, Decepticons. Megatron is the leader of the Decepticons. And eventually, he gets even more powers, and he becomes like Super Megatron. You don't want to F with that guy. Number 2.
So hold on, Zaz, really quick, before number 2. So Megatron was the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
So then why did they call Calvin Johnson Megatron instead of Optimus Prime, who was the good guy?
He named himself that.
Yeah, I mean, he thought he was a bad guy. I don't know what to tell you, man. Go ask, what are you asking me?
And Megatron's a plane. He's a fighter jet.
Yeah.
And his arch nemesis,
missiles.
Optimus Prime, is just an 18-wheeler.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Seems unfair.
Number 2, Mumra. You know about Mumra? Thundercats? Mumra was very scary. And they had movies. You ever see Mumra Lives?
Dave Damashek, you know about that Mumra?
No, I have never literally heard of Mumra.
What?
I've only heard of Shredder.
Mumra coming in at number 2.
Say it again, then we'll know about it.
Thunder, 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 cats.
Mumra. And number 1.
Mumra.
Number 1, Skeletor. Of course Skeletor is number 1. I mean, He-Man's arch nemesis, who is actually, I think it's He-Man's uncle, all right? Because, he died, he was part of the kingdom, became Skeletor. Skeletor, number 1. I told you, Jared Leto was an incredible Skeletor. Skeletor's great in the movie. Excellent battles. The action scenes are fantastic in this He-Man movie. I love the guy that played He-Man. He's a great He-Man. That's my He-Man. All right.
I need more lists from you. Was there any OLI? Where's Dr. Claw?
No, I told. Nah, Doctor. The Spectre Gadget was hokey. Doctor, you're not scared of Doctor.
Hokey.
You're not scared of
He
Dr.
wasn't
Claw.
Mumra.
You're not scared. That's right. So again, to recap: number 5, Shredder. Number 4, Cobra Commander. Number 3, Megatron. Number 2, Mumra. And number 1, Skeletor.
I'm a fan, Zaz. I want to make that clear in advance. But this is a little bit of a hipster list here, right? I mean, like a Mumra number 2. You're talking 80s animated bad guys.
Thundercats.
And you don't mention Gargamel. You don't mention.
No one was afraid of Gargamel. Gargamel's nemesis are little 2-inch blue people, and he has a hard time defeating them. Gargamel was a poser.
Well, listen. I mean, if you really want to get going here and get into
Gargamel.
the weeds here, Santa
blundering
is
idiots.
a bad guy in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But also, what about the Laugh Olympics and the fact that you had the three-way competition? You had Scooby's gang, and then you had Yogi's gang and Captain Caveman and all the heroes. But then the villain. Remember the Laugh Olympics? Everybody with me on this, or does that predate everybody in that
I have
studio?
no idea what
I
you're
love the
talking
Laugh
about.
Olympics because they used to air them during summer vacation early afternoon on Cartoon Network, and it was an all-star who's who.
That's exactly what it was. It was a blend of everybody you knew. Even Hawkman was there with Dino Mutt. Everybody, Genie made it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was
the
there.
Hanna-Barbera universe.
Penelope Pitstop.
What was remarkable was that the bad guys would win sometimes. You still don't see that anymore.
They would cheat to win, too.
Dastardly's gang. Yeah.
Snidely Whiplash.
It was a powerful
that's-
lesson for a young person.
Oh, is Snidely Whiplash? That's the
Dudley
bad guy
Do-Right.
from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah. The Adventures of... So who is... Muttley belonged to who?
Dastardly Dalton, I think.
Dick Dastardly.
Was that his name?
Was it Dick Dastardly?
Yeah.
It was Dick Dastardly.
Uncle Dick.
Wow.
That was a show. But listen, what was it? Mumra?
Thundercats, Dave. Thundercats.
Mumra. I didn't. I missed Thundercats. I tuned out on that.
What a
and
show.
also, listen. Can we just cut to the chase?
Mm-hmm.
The greatest villain of them all in movie, animated or otherwise, is Darth Vader? Can we all?
No, but that's not what we did. We did
agree
all-time 1980s cartoon villains. That's what. The
Okay,
list
well,
is.
Darth Vader appears in 1980s movies, and they
cartoon.
spun him off into
Not
some
cartoon.
animated version of it.
No,
they did. They absolutely turned it into a cartoon. And Vader would laugh at Mumra. Would laugh at him. He would scoff at the challenge.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and try and defend Mumra to you. All right, like I'm just not I'm not a fan. I don't root for the villains, so I'm not going to sit here and try and prop up Mumra to you. I'm just telling you, he was the second greatest villain all time in the 1980s. I don't know what that sound was.
That's Muttley.
Oh.
By the way, a bit of a correction on the promo we just did for the Hockey Show watch along. It's only going to be on the Hockey Show YouTube page, the Hockey Show DLS, because on the Le Batard YouTube page will be MMA Hangout.
MMA Hangout, UFC Freedom 250.
That's this
live from
Sunday.
the White House on Sunday, 8 p.m.
Can't wait.
A lot of exciting fights. Zaz, I do have a top 5 storylines if you want to
I'm
get to
already
that really quick.
tailgating.
Yeah, all right, let's do it, man.
Rain,
really
go
quick.
away.
Gonna be windy.
I actually agree with both of those statements. Thank you, Joe.
You know, this is going to be really unfortunate for those of us that believe we control the weather.
Number 5.
Mumra.
Can Captain America Michael Chandler defend America against Mauricio Rufy and the Brazilians? I don't know. It's probably going to be tough. Mauricio Rufy's an absolute dog. Michael Chandler hasn't won in 1,000 years. Number 4, can Sean O'Malley get back to championship form versus Zahibi, a Canadian who's a good up-and-comer? That's a pick of Sean O'Malley from 27 years ago. He actually looks like AI Sean O'Malley there. I don't know who that is. That might not be Sean O'Malley. All
One
right.
of Means pictures right there?
Maybe it means pictures made it finally. Can Josh Hokett, remember that name is the middle fingers at the UFC Miami fight.
Oh, yeah.
He
Josh
can't
Hokett.
be allowed to speak at the Lincoln Memorial, right? Tell me we're not letting him do the weigh-in thing.
He's not. He spoke at the press conference last month, but he will not be speaking later on.
So that guy's a big winner then. I mean, because he was acting wild at the UFC Miami event, and now he's on the White House card.
Dude, he is the biggest winner of the UFC
Big
this
winner.
year.
Wow.
100%.
But they realized
What about
maybe keep him away from the monument.
What about the robots that used to play the Harlem Globetrotters in the animated series?
No,
That
we
was
don't
the
care about
early
those.
80s.
No, I don't
Zaz, you
think
know
we
about
care
that Hordak?
those.
I mean, I know if those guys went up head-to-head with Mumra, I know who's coming out on top.
Number 2, Ilia Toporia's insane BMF knockout run. He's knocked out all other BMF champions. All of a sudden, Justin Gaethje in his way. He's the 2-division champ already, looking to cement his legacy as one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. Justin Gaethje would be another notch on his belt of an insane resume.
Safe to say, this is the first time.
Oh, you know who was scary?
The BMF
You know who
title.
was scary?
Go ahead, Dave.
The Cobra that fought against, it was like a family of Cobras maybe, but I think there was one particular Cobra against Ricky Tikki Tavi. Remember that?
I thought you were talking about like the Cobra, like the scepter that Cobra Commander used to kill Duke in G.I. Joe. That's the Cobra I thought you were talking about.
Mike, you were
Killed
saying?
him.
Not the Cobra Commander, no.
Actually, I had the same exact question that Dave had. So.
Oh, okay. No, it wasn't the same Cobra. It was a different Cobra. Number 1, speaking of Cobras, the guy who's so good at what he does, will Alex Pereira become the first-time 3-weight division champion. He's won at middleweight. He's won at light heavyweight. Now he's fighting for the interim heavyweight championship against Cyril Gane. Tom Aspinall had the eye pokes. He's been out. He's the champion. Can Alex Pereira be the first person in UFC or in really mixed martial arts history to get 3 divisions as a champion? It's crazy. All that coming up 8 p.m. live from Dead Flamingo on the Le Batard YouTube page. Freedom 250 for the UFC Freedom 250. It's usually they do like
Good job selling it.
UFC 320 whatever, which is the next one. Conor McGregor July 9th, International Fight Week 329. But this one's like UFC Freedom 250 because it's like kind of a play on the
Happy birthday.
Isn't there a chance like it's gonna be incredibly humid? They're outdoors fighting.
Yeah, there's a
incredibly
chance
humid,
it rains.
bugs,
Wind.
rain,
And there's gonna be lots of
wind.
lights coming down on
lights. Yeah.
Anything can happen. We don't know what's going to happen. Do not hope it rains.
Ooh,
Take
bugs.
that back.
No,
Why
but
would you say that?
there's going to be a canopy over the ring. Like if
No, it's a claw. It's a claw. It's not a canopy.
No. I'm hoping
Yeah.
for rain.
Yeah, you know what? I'm hoping for rain then. I think that could be fun.
Absolutely.
You think it'd be fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never.
You think it'd be fun?
I've never seen UFC with an downpour.
You think it's gonna be a wet T-shirt contest? You think that's what it's gonna be?
I think it'd be a barrel of laughs.
You think people are gonna be out there fighting in the rain?
In fact, I want this to happen.
You want the Cobra that Dave's talking about to be out there in the rain?
I want a rain delay during a UFC
No, I don't
event.
want a rain delay. I'm live on stream.
I don't want this thing to happen.
That's too bad.
I don't like it happening.
There's the claw.
Ooh, I wonder what their rain day programming will be.
Well said. I don't know, but here's the thing: if it rains sideways like it usually does, then it could be an issue. If it rains from just top to bottom,
if it rains, we'll just go inside and do this thing in the Oval. Come on.
That's why we need the ballroom.
Can he stay awake? Can he stay awake
No,
if
that
there's
doesn't
rain
matter.
dropping down on him?
To answer
That's
your
the big
question, absolutely not. He has proven this time and time again.
Rain delay.
It's kind of crazy for a guy that still calls him Sleepy Joe, that he just sleeps all the time, and they just lie about it. They just say, no, he's not sleeping. What do you mean? I'm watching him. He is very clearly falling asleep. No, it's still Sleepy Joe.
Jim Dolan said he was not asleep.
He's just looking down at his
Yeah,
notes.
I do think sometimes he's looking down, but he's falling asleep.
I fall
very,
asleep
doing?
often when I look down.
He is falling asleep.
You look down, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is comfortable.
And all right, here we go. Tangent time. Yeah, like find the liberal that said, no, Joe Biden's got it together. Kind of realize that. This guy is falling asleep every day. It's not a lie. Every day there is a new video, provided he's actually meeting with somebody or at Walter Reed. We'll see. He is falling asleep every freaking day.
Why don't they let him sleep in so he could be less tired when he wakes up?
It's a joke. We're at war. I know
No, we're not at war.
Yeah,
Come
I know.
on,
I know
they've
he's declared victory 39 times, and we got another
never
peace
went to
deal.
war.
Hey, he's conveniently sending JD to Europe to make sure that JD is not there to either bleep a couch or ruin the vibes.
So what do you think about Ilya Taporia?